All right, don't forget that we have WAVwatch Frequency Fanatics. So this is being recorded as we speak, and there are about 70 different programs with targeted ideas. So if you want to learn about strokes, you might find something in there that I have made a presentation on with some additional ideas besides the word stroke that could be helpful if you have that particular problem that you're researching. You can also go to WAVwatch.com. Please go to the website. They're knocking themselves out to add new ideas every week in different areas of the website. We also have videos on Rumble, and we have videos on YouTube. And then if you haven't seen, there's been interviews with Michael Jaco and Michelle Moore, with Kevin Hoyt. So you might see some other areas, the Truth Seekers, just several different places have interviewed me. And so there's information on different podcasts also. So you don't have to look too hard to find some information about the WAVwatch. So one thing about the WAVwatch is that you do try to wear it on the left hand if that's possible. Now, I've got a few people that decide they want to wear it in their pocket according to the activity, or maybe several women have decided to wear it in their bra sometimes, and that works okay, but you are paying attention to the safety of your WAVwatch so that you don't break it or get it wet. But normally, if you can, wear it on the left hand. And we now have thousands of targeted frequencies. I say that we have 1,000 frequencies on the WAVwatch. And inside most of those frequencies could be up to 30 different frequencies. So the emotions do not have much of a frequency, and they don't make a lot of sound. And that's because they only have 1 or 2 frequencies, where others make a larger, a different sound. And obviously each one of them is unique. There are even some that make a beat. They play a beat somehow. And those would have possibly up to 30 frequencies inside that particular set that you are tapping on. Obviously, there's no cords or wires or patches. There's no internet connectivity. That's really important to me. I always talk about that. I hope you're still thinking it's cost effective, because these are Rife frequencies. And if you've been looking at some of the Rife technology, some of that can be up to $15,000. And you have to set, in front of something, and you have to be still, or you have to hold a brass bar, or however it's set up. But it does take hours sometimes to run a particular idea, and you can't move around when you're doing it. So, and the cost is quite a bit more. And on some of these, you are hooked up to the internet, which again, to me, is a no-no. And then these frequencies are easy to change and update, like I did before. We went from 850 to 1,000. So if I ever, think something is super, super important, we'll be trying to update that. But I think I've got it pretty loaded up now, so there won't be very many more updates. Now, the last thing I want you to remember, that it's useful for all ages and even animals. So we have a lot of fun with this. So these are some pictures that were shared by some people, and I'm going to put my son on the spot here already. I hope this is correct, but we'd like any images or testimonies that you might have that you'd like to share with us. And somebody sent these in, So this is Tucker on the left, the little dog. Tucker was in some kind of an accident and very anxious. And his owner said that really did the trick. And then we have Veterans in the middle, and his wife. And those veterans are so amazing. And so I hope that you think about sharing the idea of the WAVwatch with some of them, or help them to get a WAVwatch, or maybe even donate to help them get a WAVwatch. Whatever your situation might be, it's a great piece of information to share with them, ideas about frequencies, so that they are not so connected to some of the medications that most of them do not like to take because they are worried about the side effects. And then the last one is a young man who his mother bought the WAVwatch and she thought it was hers, but all of a sudden it's like, I need my WAVwatch. I need my WAVwatch to go to bed. I need my WAVwatch for this and this and that. So she thought that was a cute image and I loved it too. So all ages can use the WAVwatch and even animals. And when you get your WAVwatch, most of you have already got it, but some people are missing this screen right here. We've had several calls and people are not seeing that there's a little tab right here on the face of the screen, and you peel this little film off and you put the larger, heavier screen protector on top right here. And there are directions in the box when you get it. You can also change, if you do not want a leather type wristband, you can change it to a Velcro one. And then we have a charging cord and the brick to go with it, and a carrying case and the 20-page booklet. So make sure this is the one that people are missing, and you want this screen protector on because if you drop it, usually the screen protector breaks rather than the screen on the watch itself. So be protecting your tool. So what we're doing is playing a different song anytime you're playing something. And if you just happen to play around with it and you touch 4 or 5 in a row, you'll hear it go, bing, 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 bing. Every sound is a little bit different. So that's another way that you know that your watch is working, because different sounds are coming out of it. And just one idea that I haven't mentioned in a while, and I try to just change things on each presentation because different people come on, but the length of the frequency gives you the information. So if it's 8 minutes, that's just the frequency by itself. If it's a 15-minute frequency, it also has inflammation, pain, and trauma in it. And if it's a 30-minute or longer frequency, I have put several ideas together in a combination, and I call them combo, like kidney stone combo, allergy combo. So I have put several things together so that you can just loop those. So many different ways that you can use the WAVwatch. Another idea is testimonies, and this is what we'd love to have from you. So please send anything to Joseph at WAVwatch.com if that works. And then any videos, anything that you might have, we would love to share those, because people do worry about the scientific information about the WAVwatch. We have been hidden. There's lots of information hidden about frequencies working. And as a group, a population of people, we've been taught so much that medications are the way to go. And we tend to not look up a medication when a doctor tells us to take it. And we forget that there could be side effects from that medication. And we're not doing the research on medications. But if we have something new that comes out, like frequencies, people can be very skeptical and they wonder where the scientific information is. But we're not doing it the same way. We're not skeptical of medications. And we should be of everything. I'm not saying that the WAVwatch is perfect. I'm not saying medications are perfect or not. I'm saying that we should treat them the same, and we should look for scientific information and efficacy of many things before we use it. So here's a couple testimonies. Neck and shoulder pain are gone. Feel more alert without the pain. Low back pain gone. Right shoulder, frozen shoulder injury 10 years ago improved, but feel more time could be helpful. Sinuses are clear. And this was in a 30-minute session in my office. Most of these testimonies came when somebody was in my office and I was developing the prototype. Another person said, within 5 minutes, I could feel sinuses draining. Within 10 minutes, my knees were tingling and a cooling sensation like ice packs on my knees. Pain sitting down and pain getting up. After treatment, no pain to stand and sit. So again, this was fairly quick. This was in a 30-minute session. And this was from Sarah, who lived in Kansas. This one's a favorite one. I feel awesome. Neck and back feel 100% better. I have had neck pain for 36 years that is now gone. Hips are looser. I can't wait to see how long it lasts. Would like to come back for more or wait for the watch. So we also have a video of Kathy on our website somewhere. And she knew that she had had this neck pain for 36 years because it started at the birth of her daughter. So you can't get any more accurate than that. She knew exactly how long it took or how long she'd had the pain and that it was gone fairly quickly in the 30-minute session with the WAVwatch. And then another person said, I have had back pain for many months. My back feels 90% better in a few minutes. I'm looking forward to getting my WAVwatch. So this is Eugenia. So lots of testimonies on joints. So if you know somebody that's having some joint pain, or if you have any, hopefully you've had some results from it. And this is why I'm thinking that the WAVwatch is doing fairly well on working with joint pain. An audiologist says that all of the body's bones, as well as our skin, is involved in our hearing. And we forget that. We only think of our ears. But when we talk, our skull vibrates and sends sound waves through the spine into the rest of the body, mainly through the bones. So your skin and bones absorb vibrations, bypassing the ear. So many of us don't know that. And I have been working with frequencies for a while, but I'm not sure that that was, very plain to me how, quickly our body absorbs these three frequencies through the bones and through our skin. So here's the new list of joints that is on the newest WAVwatch. So if you have 850, 870 frequencies, you would not have the ones that are highlighted in black. So I didn't find a lot of new ideas to add, but these 4 were pretty interesting, I think. So again, there's 26 different ideas for joints. And you could decide to select the top one and set the double arrows that are on the lower left side of the watch. And most of you know what I'm talking about, but read your booklet if you don't, And it's also in this guide right here. And it's on step 3, play a frequency. So we have all of these frequencies, and they can be played individually on a loop all night long. You could play them one at a time if you wanted to. That's a lot of messing around. Or you could just set it where it just repeats and repeats and repeats. So any of these ideas would be good for this. So a lot of people are not familiar with this term. And again, this is why the internet is great. If you don't know what neuropathy is, and you saw that phrase, I did try to say it was a joint disease, that could be something that's a great overall protective set for joint health. So if you're starting to have some trouble with your joints, play this once in a while, play all of those, build your whole body up, be protective. I'm not saying that it would take the place of eating correctly and getting some the right nutrition and vitamins and minerals, but I'm just saying it's a great overall addition to that joint health. So many people are now getting ankylosing spondylitis. This is kind of going up statistic-wise, and their spine is getting really stiff and inflamed. So there is a specific frequency for ankylosing spondylitis, but just the word itis refers to inflammation. So again, my favorite frequency on the WAVwatch is inflammation, pain, and trauma. I put that together after I noticed so many people responded to those frequencies individually. So instead of you having to look up inflammation, and don't know what happened there. Am I off screen? So something happened there, not sure. I'll try sharing the screen again. Could you see me earlier, everybody? Try sharing one more time. I'm hoping everybody can see me. Was that a yes? So again, I think I was starting to say that inflammation, pain, and trauma, I put those together because so many people were responding individually to those. And most people might not know to connect inflammation, pain, and trauma together and put those in the same playlist. So I did it for you. I've made a playlist. I made specific frequencies that seem to work better than others. And we are getting some great results, not necessarily perfect, but getting results with that particular frequency of inflammation, pain, and trauma. The very first one listed in your booklet. So hopefully you've seen that and pointed it out. So I use this chart. This is a little bit more about the ankylosing spondylitis. And I'm not saying that you should diagnose yourself or not go to the doctor, but sometimes people can get a little bit better feel before they go to the doctor to even know what doctor to go to, So there's a lot of different symptoms that you could have with this ankylosing spondylitis. So you're going to have fatigue and fever, and people have that all the time. But it gets deeper and deeper, pain in your jaw, pain in your rib cage when you're breathing, chronic pain in your lower back, even psoriasis, redness in the eyes, pain in your buttocks, pain in your foot or heel, pain that gets better from a hot shower. I don't know all of these symptoms. I have to read them to you. I'm not saying I do, but I want you to know that with a little bit of effort, you could look up these symptoms, or you can just play all of the frequencies in that particular folder and hopefully see some improvement, even though you may not know what your pain is caused by or it has not been diagnosed. Remember, sometimes our diagnosis is incorrect anyway. So you want to cover the basis. And that's why I always say play more than one idea, if that's possible. So arthritis, the stats are terrible on it. From 18 to 44 years old, 70.1% of people have arthritis. And as we age, 45 to 64, we're going to have about a third of us have arthritis. And over 65 years old, almost half of us are going to have some kind of arthritis. So why wouldn't you start playing arthritis once in a while, or that whole folder on joints and neuropathy and different joint related ideas to protect, to prevent. Another idea is bursitis. And this is a sac that's filled with fluid that prevents the joints from rubbing against each other. So it's related to arthritis, but it's a little bit separate. So that's why there's a different frequency for it. So you'll see pain and swelling and tenderness and inflammation when you have bursitis in a lot of different places in your body. There are over 150 different spots that could cause problems with this idea. So why wouldn't you play that once in a while? I hope I'm not repeating too often, but pretty important to realize that sometimes we might have a combination of ideas. We could have bursitis and arthritis. They are separate. So very interesting to play both of those ideas, and maybe your problem would go away quicker. Can't make any predictions. I'm just saying, hopefully it would go away a little bit quicker. Now, I have a video on this, and I'm not sure why it's not playing. Any suggestions on that? It did not come up at all. And of course, before I started this presentation, the video was playing. I just love it. Let me see if I click something wrong, and I apologize for my technical problems here. Wow. It should be playing. I have it optimized for sound. Maybe I'll try another one. Well, that didn't do the trick either, did it? That didn't do the trick either. I'm not sure what happened. This video is on the website, and it is of someone who has Dupuytren's contractures, and basically his hands are going to, squeeze together, and he can't flatten them out. So within about 30 minutes in his testimony, he could actually put his hand flat on the table with that, instead of it being all looking very arthritic and swollen up. So he was able to flatten his hand with the WAVwatch running on just simply Dupuytren's contractures. So he was somebody else that was working with my prototype. You can kind of see that he's got something on that doesn't quite look like the WAVwatch. So that's my prototype. And again, it was only a 30-minute trial, errors and changes made and happened in that 30-minute time period. Now, I can't say that it happens all the time in a short time period, but hopefully you're going to give it some attention and try some different ideas. If you don't get some changes in the first day or so, play something else. And that's what these presentations are about, giving you some ideas of other things that you could play besides what it's labeled. So this was a little bit more information about Dupuytren's. There is something called a Dupuytren's wand, and it uses some tape and a kind of jelly, which will ease the symptoms but allow regular use of the hands for hours. So you could, find some different ideas. Now, again, I like to kind of showcase some of these ideas once in a while, because this is a Dupuytren's wand. That's what they call it. It's $149, and it's for one idea, where the WAVwatch, I think, is fairly cost effective, because we have around 1,000 ideas for $497 when you use a coupon code, which we share with you if you need one. So you could have a lot of tools around your house that work with 1 or 2 ideas. Or you could have the WAVwatch, which works with 1,000 and some ideas. So you make those choices. I think I have a wand somewhere. It's not a Dupuytren's wand, and I just don't use it anymore because I have to sit down. I have to be plugged in. I have to be in the mood to sit there and use it, where I can have the WAVwatch on my wrist and walk around. And if I'm not using it, fine. But when if something comes up, if I hurt myself, if I have a headache all of a sudden, allergies seems to be one that I'm having trouble with this fall. Imagine that, And so if I, start sneezing and, having some problems, all I do is look at my watch, put it on allergies, and that's the end of it. It does work for me. I'm not saying it works for everybody, but that does help with the allergies. So this is a new one that I added. And I think this is a very important one. And I apologize that I hadn't found that particular frequency earlier. But gout is pretty common. And there's, it's a form of arthritis. So that's why it is in the joint folder. So you get different kinds of crystals that accumulate in your joints, and it causes this intense inflammation. So meats, beer, and fructose, especially from drinks, are the culprits. So think about this. How many drinks are people consuming every day that are so sweet and have fructose in them? Or maybe an overload of fruits also with the fructose in them. So you are having trouble with your kidneys excreting this uric acid. So obviously, we have a new frequency for gout that you could play, but you could also start with inflammation, pain, and trauma. And then You can also play the entire kidney area, and I would loop kidney combo if you have trouble with gout, because your kidneys are not excreting this. So our bodies are so unique, and maybe we still are in the idea that we just want to take one pill and forget about it. But I'm a teacher, and I think that we ought to know a little bit more common sense about our body. And so if you have gout, you have problems with your kidneys, you have a form of arthritis, you have too much meat or beer, your body's not digesting things correctly. So play these ideas for gout. There's no need to be in pain. If you try to use some other ideas for gout, like the information on the right, low-dose aspirin and some medications can cause uric acid levels and cause problems. So these crystals connect or collect and are connected with kidney stones. So it just goes on and on. If you don't treat your gout, you get more crystals. And then some people are developing a lot of little nodules under their skin. And so they'll have, different notches, on different areas of their body that are swollen and tender before they have a gout attack. And then they're there all the time. So they're not getting rid of those crystals. I can't promise that running the kidney stone frequencies would get rid of those, but it would make sense because the kidney stone frequencies are made to break up crystals, break up kidney stones. So I would run those a lot, not just the gout frequency if you have gout. So again, I wish I could see a show of hands here, but many people do have gout or, the start of it, and they don't do anything to it. So it just continues to get worse and worse. So hopefully you can share that with someone if you know someone who has gout, and maybe give it a try. Maybe it will do just what you need if you use it on yourself. And remember to use the kidney stone frequencies, inflammation, pain, and trauma, and then the gout also. Now, here's another video I had. It is on the website also, but this is an amazing testimony. This lady is a chiropractor, and so she was having knee pain for over a year, and I was in her office doing thermography, and she wore the WAVwatch while I was there and gave me a testimony that her knee pain did indeed go away. So you can, verify this particular video on the website if that's of interest to you, or show it to somebody else, because her knee pain of a year did go away and it changed. Wow, that almost sounded like it was going to start. Not sure what's going on there. As you can tell, I moved ahead. Energy and vibration is everywhere, And so this lady, Dr. Candace Pert, wrote an article a book, Molecules of Emotion. And she wrote this in the 90s sometime, and basically is saying that we have 70 different receptors on our cell. And each cell starts to vibrate, and then the next cell vibrate, and the next cells, and then it goes on. And she is the mother, I don't know if I can pronounce this word, I'm going to laugh at myself, of psychoneuromolecular biology. So she's known as the mother of this particular term from all of her research, just again, verifying that molecules will change with vibration and frequency. Now, another idea that I thought I should cover a little bit is the idea that you could use the chakras for different pains. And I had to make a decision, but I put all the chakras in emotional folders. That's what they're known for a little bit more. And some people are very negative about chakras. They think they're very different. But basically, it was just another culture's phrasing for energy that was throughout the body. And they thought of them as wheels of energy. And so you can see, if you kind of read here a little bit, that if you're having any kind of pain, that it might not be a bad idea to also run through the chakras, just not the joints. So foot pain, including bottom foot pain, heel pain, ankle pain, knee pain, leg pain, hip pain, groin pain, anal pain, are related to certain chakras. I don't know whether to read this or not. Most of you are fast readers and you can read as fast as I can. But I think it's very interesting, that I do need to read it a little bit for people that might be driving and listening. But wrist pain, elbow pain are related to the heart chakra and the throat chakra. Abdominal pain, stomach pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, lower back pain, upper back pain are related to the root chakra, the sacral chakra, the solar plexus, and on and on. But then jaw pain, migraine headaches, tension headaches, and sinus headaches are related to the crown chakra. So if you're having different kinds of pain, but especially joint pain, it is not going to cause one. It's going to be so beneficial. That's a better way to say it. It would be so beneficial to just touch the top one and play through the different chakras. Very easy way to do it. I thought I would add this so that you can see the exact frequencies. These are going to be very hard for you to hear. If you try to hear the chakra frequency, there's only one chakra or one frequency per chakra. So this is basically what it is. So the root chakra is 432 hertz. Now, I don't know if any of you have noticed, but when you get your packages in the mail for the WAVwatch, it's from 432 Energetics. So the name of my business, which includes the WAVwatch, is 432 Energetics. And that's really where I got the name from. Another way to phrase it is that 432 is the energy of the world. It's the root. It's the all-encompassing. And so many different ways to say that. But so if you want to just play 432 hertz, if you've heard something about that, you could go to the root chakra, and that's exactly where it is. Now, I couldn't put the frequencies for all of the sets in the booklet because, again, we're talking about possibly 24 to 26,000 frequencies that would be printed. It would just be overwhelming. But I can show you on this particular one, since they are very easy and just one frequency, these are the separate frequencies related here. And you'll also notice that this chart has the sound, the note that is related to this. And so those of you that are musicians might recognize this. So these frequencies are this note. And I'm not, quote unquote, a musician to be able to share that with you. So here's more information on osteoarthritis. And basically, people are not recognizing that they might have this. They're not protecting themselves a lot. It's going to build up over the years. But we have about 32.5 million adults that have osteoarthritis. So make sure that you play the osteoarthritis once in a while. These are prevention ideas. And people really get into the WAVwatch after a while sometimes, and they're playing it for a lot of different things. Can I prove that it helps with osteoarthritis? Well, I might be able to if somebody'd send me a testimony, but right now I don't think I have an actual testimony on osteoarthritis. I have all kinds of testimonies on joint problems going away. So I don't know if it was very specific, if someone had been diagnosed or not. So I'd really appreciate a testimony on that if anybody thinks they have one. And then rheumatoid arthritis, I did have a testimony on that, and I shared it the other day with you on another PowerPoint. But our hands can get so swollen. And if I'm remembering the testimony I had recently, the lady had just had her WAVwatch a couple of days, like she got it on a Thursday or Friday. And she went to the doctor on Monday, and the doctor was actually had an intern with her, and she lifted up this lady's hands, and she said, well, this isn't a normal osteoarthritis look. Normally you'd be all swollen and painful. And her hands were not. The doctor lifted her hands up and said, oh, this isn't a typical RA look. So the lady's hands had changed over the weekend. So I should have, I'm just, going over that, but I do have it in some of my testimonies. Maybe I can find that again. But hopefully you will have some success, or you can share the watch with somebody if you know anybody that has RA. Now, these are the last two ideas that I have that I put on the WAVwatch, and this is spinal cord injuries. Now, this is just one frequency set. And again, you might want to look through it because obviously spinal cord injuries run the gamut of so many different things. But also on the WAVwatch, if you had numbness or tingling, you could go to those ideas in nerves. If you have paralysis, you could go to those particular folders. If you have head, neck, or back pain, you can be playing those. Weakness in any part of the body, you could be playing immune support. Again, head or spine, those would be a little bit more in the joint area. If you have loss of control of the bladder and bowels, go to that particular area. You can play the spinal cord injury, but also add to it. So difficult breathing, I would go to the lung folder. And then changes in sexual function, I'd go to the specific male or female idea with those ideas. So again, that's what we need to be thinking about, is the WAVwatch has just at this point in time one frequency for spinal cord injuries. So I don't know, I didn't see any other frequencies for a particular area of the spinal cord. So it's just one overall frequency. And then hopefully you will think to play other frequencies like I just went through. And hopefully we'll see some changes in somebody. I do not know on this particular one. Now, the last thing I want to share with you is that there are frequencies for the spine. And I just have them labeled as spine frequencies, and they're all together. They just kind of play. And they are from June Leslie Wider, if I'm saying her name correctly. She was the person who really measured these. And I am using the 432 Songs of the Spine. She wrote a book called Songs of the Spine. And these are the exact frequencies that I'm using. So if that's of interest to you. Now, again, there is tuning for 440 hertz, and we've talked about that a little bit before, but this was the best chart that I could find to show you very easily what those frequencies are that are playing when you play the spinal frequencies that have been added on the WAVwatch. The last thing on how important this is that the spine transmits all of these impulses to and from the brain. So we know when people have spinal cord injuries or problems that they might have different problems according to the area. And this was a chart that I just thought was actually good to show you. And you can find these charts online, obviously. And this one came from Shabret's Tariff MD, if I'm saying that. I'm probably not saying that one right either. But I do want to give credit for where I found that particular spine chart that shows all of the ideas that could be affected. So, if you're having more heart and lung problems, you can see those particular areas of your spine that could be affecting that. If you're having different problems with your adrenal glands and your small intestine, this chart just really pinpoints easily. And then you can say, oh, I am having pain there, So we need to learn a few more areas that could be connected with problems in our body and connect them with the spine being out and needing adjustments, because this is all structural foundation. So hopefully you found a chiropractor to get some other ideas on that. But I know a couple of times lately, since I added the spine frequencies, my back was killing me, and I just touched the spine frequencies and played that, and that pain went away. That's my testimony. I don't know if anybody else has had anything, but it's a good idea to at least you try to use it and then get your appointment set up for the chiropractor if you need that support. So I think I've kind of ran through some things I've had. I'm not sure if Joseph was able to answer any questions. And unmute you. Do we need some questions answered? Or at this point in time, I might open it and see if we can, if anybody has any testimonies that they'd like to add.
I think I've answered everybody's questions by chat, but if I missed something, just let me know. And yeah, if you guys, anybody wants to share a testimony or ask questions, now is a great time.
I know I kind of go along and give my testimonies, but I'm my own guinea pig. So anybody have any testimonies? It doesn't have to be about spine, and anything at all that they'd like to share. Lisa, go ahead. Sure, Lisa. You can go ahead and unmute.
It took me a while to unmute because it wouldn't let me, but now it did. All right, so I just wanted to, absolutely amazing, I think. I have a very new client who just got the watch a couple of days ago, who's probably around 70, in a wheelchair from severe shock and trauma and PTSD. That she has really nothing physically wrong with her, but her whole body is completely shut down, and it's been like that for years. I got her the watch. I went over there, it all set up for her. She put it on within 10 minutes. She said she could feel something and she felt lighter. And then she reached out to me 5 hours later and said that she could not believe how much better she felt in just this 5 hours. She was going in for a colonoscopy the next day, which she had a lot of trauma about and didn't want to do it. So she was in such a state before she got the watch. The next morning, she reached out to me and said she was playing the emotion. She played that PTSD with the trauma, but also some of the other emotions. And she says it's an absolute miracle. Her husband cannot believe it. And then today she reached out to me and she has severe pain in her body, and her hands were feeling so much less pain. And she got through the whole procedure without any shame or any of those feelings. And she's just absolutely thrilled. And they're just so grateful. And I'm just so happy for her.
Oh my goodness. I'd love an update to know, in a week or so, if anything else changed, yeah. Wow.
Yep. I'm going to meet with them tomorrow afternoon to help them with the watch even further navigate it. So they're really excited and I'm so happy. So Thank you, Linda, for helping so many people.
Well, I didn't do it. I took ancient technology, ancient ideas, and just updated it, Yeah. So there's so many brains behind measuring these frequencies and figuring them out. So it's a lovely way to share them just on your wrist. Okay. Thank you, Lisa. All right. Martha. Is that Martha? There we go. We can't hear you, or I can't hear you. There you are. Let's see. There's a little video in the bottom that wants you to unmute. Yeah, you can unmute.
Linda, it looks like he unmuted me first.
Okay.
I'm
Um,
Rebecca.
so we'll let you try to unmute and go ahead. Is it Rebecca that's
Yes.
unmuted?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
My testimony is just early this morning. I woke up with really bad cramping, and I changed my settings because I was on something else over the night. And I changed it to menstrual cramps or whatever, and it worked within like 10 minutes. So I have that. That's all.
Lovely. And just to add to this, there is a new tool on the market for menstrual cramps, and it is some kind of an energetic tool. I don't know the whole idea behind it, but I do know that you have two, kind of stickers that you have to stick on your abdomen, and then you have something that, sticks in the back of your pant line, and it's all wired together, and it costs, I think it was $290, almost $300, and all it has is frequencies for menstrual cramps. So that's what I've been trying to tell people, is really look to see, where you can get the most bang for your buck. Okay. So we're still having trouble with Martha here. We'll see what we can figure out. All right. Anybody else? We're trying here, Martha. Someone else? Okay. Wow, this is only getting worse here on, okay. Okay, I'm making my son host and see if he can press the buttons better than I can now. Go ahead, Joseph.
Okay, Martha, you should be able to try to unmute now. Let me try another setting. Sorry. I'm not sure how everyone is muted at this point, so I'm working on it.
All right, Lisa, you want to go ahead? I think you might be on.
Okay, so I just changed the global setting, so you should be able to unmute yourselves at this point. There we go. Try now, Marie or Martha, or the bottom left should have a mute.
Back up.
Yeah, I think everybody now has the ability to unmute. So Martha's been waiting a while, so if we could let her try, that'd be great. And do you see it in the bottom left? There's a microphone with a red icon. If you just click that. All right, sorry, Martha.
Shoot.
And
All right, well, somebody else wanted to speak. I don't know, Marie or Sherry.
Sharice.
Okay, go ahead.
So I've had the WAVwatch probably 3 weeks now, and I do have some psoriasis. I have spinal stenosis. I've been playing them all. Plus, I did use ivermectin and got rid of all of my parasites. And one night, this is just kind of funny, I had it on the parasite setting on repeat. And all night long, the next day I was on the toilet all day. But it was a good thing. And but honestly, we don't realize how many parasites we really have. It's incredible. My sons have girlfriends from around the world, and they all say, why aren't you deworming your family? Why aren't it's crazy. So I was really sick, and I chose ivermectin, got rid of it myself. My doctor couldn't help. They for years and years. And then using the WAVwatch, I hit myself every now and then with the parasites, but I do mostly do the inflammation because of my spine. I will do the inflammation almost all night and see the chiropractor the next day. And he has been seeing that I am more loose and he's able to adjust me better. And
Right.
so with the psoriasis, I have noticed maybe a decrease in the amount I get, but I think I'm just healing because they all itch now. All the little spots are itchy. And so anyway, I think it's working. It's just, I'm older and it's taking, I mean, all these years they tell you, stay active. Yeah, well, skiing, mountain biking, I've hurt myself and I'm 66 now. And yeah, I'm just hoping this WAVwatch, all the frequencies, I've been into this for a long time also, and I do the chakra healings, and I even on my own without the WAVwatch, but I hit almost every file in your folders, all the folders. I just keep going through them all. I go, well, let's see what this one will do. You never know. So anyway.
And some people have tried running the files from A to Z, and just, making it go from one to the other because, they think that's an easy way to do it. But it's like, well, you don't need the files for men probably if you're a woman. So think that through a little bit.
No, well, I don't do those, but I do. I pick and choose, and I just go, yeah, and I'm finding the ones that I like the best are the inflammation, the spinal stenosis, and I have been running the nerve. What was the nerve you said?
Well, I love the vagus nerve.
The vagus nerve. So yes, I've been running that, and I mentioned that to my chiropractor, and it goes, oh, that's very interesting. Yes, and then I have a friend who's a cardiology nurse, and she goes, oh, the vagus nerve is huge for the heart and all this. So yes, I'm hitting that one up a lot too.
Perfect.
Never know.
All right. Thank you. Nancy, do you want to go next?
Yeah, hi. I'm an American from New Jersey, and I'm living in England. And I ordered the watch, and it hasn't arrived yet. I'm here in Northwest England, but I'm really excited to try it. And I believe in this new technology. I think it's the wave of the future. I hate to make a pun, but it is. It is. I'm a researcher, freelance writer. I've written books and stuff, so I'm really clued in. And I watch Mike Jaco, and I watch Kevin Hope, fabulous. And so I'm really excited. I ordered it about a week and a half ago or two. So it'll come eventually, and because I am here in England. So I'm really, because I have some problems. I'm up there in age now, and I have some fibromyalgia, which I got from a respiratory problem with Protacid, whatever. They put me on this horrible medicine, and Dr. Davis, and he said, "Oh, that's okay. It's just a side illness, So I said, "Well, can we get rid of it?" He said, "Oh no, it's permanent." I was like, "Oh, thank you, doc."
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
Well, yeah, but it's not that bad, the fibromyalgia. I do get electrical shocks in my hands and stuff. And I know the watch is going to help me with that. I do smoke cigarettes sometimes. I'm trying to detox myself off them and stop them. But I'm a widow. I just became a widow not too long ago. And it's been stressful and sad. My dog. So I just want to, I'm glad that my first time, I don't know how to do any of this, but the laptop got me through it all. And that's my dog, Peaches. She's a Sheltie.
But don't forget, you can play anxiety and it will help you and possibly your dog. How's that?
Yes, it'll help Peaches. She's a year old. So come over here. So, I'm going to read everything. I'm very open-minded because I'm just very open-minded about everything, and we know what's going on, don't we? So
Yeah.
You caught me at a bad time. I'm baking, and I have my Warrior sweatshirt on.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
All right,
We'll see
Phyllis.
you again.
Yes, Phyllis, can you unmute? Or
I
you have,
did.
okay, there you go.
Nice to meet you. I've had my watch for about 2 months or maybe a little more. I can't remember. I got it through Celeste Solom,
Yes.
and I did not get the second cover for the top. You were talking about the second cover for, how do I get one of those?
Well, we can send you one if you put your name in the sidebar, but you might check your little purple bag. That's where it, or behind your watch. That's where it was stored.
Okay.
Behind the
That was it?
watch, when you pull it out, it's stored, it was shipped right there.
Nothing
So
in
you
there.
Okay, so
There's
just give
nothing
us
in
your address on the sidebar. We'll see if we can
Okay.
get that.
Yeah, there
Okay.
should, every
And-
watch comes with a screen protector included, but you can buy
Mhm.
extras, and I'll put the link for that.
Okay, does it cost anything? I mean, if it's.
Well, since you didn't get one, we'll try to send you one. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
My other question that I have is, my husband is very hard of hearing. Can I run the hearing thing? Is there another program to run with the hearing thing to help his hearing?
You don't need for him to wear anything but just the watch. He doesn't have to hear it. He's just going to absorb it. And I've actually had 7 people take off their hearing aids. I've had testimonies. Very, very exciting. So they just ran through the hearing, the ears, and there are 7 or 8 programs. They just put them on a loop and ran through all of them. Or
Okay.
maybe at some point in time, they, picked one and just looped one, but usually start with all of them. So we've had some changes, and I'm very excited. I kind of cry on that one because I'm a deaf person. I'm completely deaf in one ear, and I'm missing a part. So miracles do happen. I don't have that extra part yet, but other people that have slow hearing loss, 7 of them have taken off their hearing aids.
Very good. Now, what about the new programs that you've got? How do we update our watch?
You can go online and just make sure that your watch says 1,000 frequencies. If your book says 1,000 frequencies, you're updated. If it says 850 frequencies, you go online and you just order what's called a TF or SD card, and you just click a button and it's $60.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Have a
And
great day.
the directions are there for exchanging that TF card. Okay, Martha,
Blessings.
are you there?
Yes, thank you so much for your patience. I have a testimony on my neck pain that went away I had a while back, and then some cramping in my foot went away another time I used it. And I've got a question about red spots. I get on my body different places, little red blister looking things, and I don't know if that's a liver thing or what. Would you happen to know? And also, what frequency books do you recommend we read?
I'm just kind of doing some intuitive muscle testing for you, and I get hormones. Now, hormones are related to little red spots on your body sometimes, So play through the hormone folder is what I would do, and maybe loop hormone balance for quite a while and try that one. There is definitely a relationship there. And in my handbook, I do have some names of books, I've just quoted the author of the books. So the 7 Secrets of Sound Healing, Jonathan Goldman. You could just go online to Amazon and, frequency healing, and it'll give you a list of books, So there are some good ones out there. And if you want to really look at the beginning of frequencies, read information about Tesla and then Royal Raymond Rife. All of those ideas are great. All right.
Thank you so
Vicki,
much.
You're welcome. Vicki, I think you're next.
Good morning.
Hi
I
there.
have a few really simple testimonies, but they're really great for our family. My husband has always had allergy issues, and after you did your program on allergies, I went in and set up a playlist for him, and he faithfully wore that watch and has not had to take any allergy medicine and has had just very few symptoms as long as he has his watch on. So I thought that was wonderful. And then we've just been on a little vacation, and I used the motion sickness a lot because we were on a very windy road getting to and from where we were staying every day. And I did not get any kind of motion sickness. That was such a blessing for me. And then the other one, we were also in an area that had a lot of mosquitoes. And so I put on mosquito repel whenever I was outside, walking around the area, and very seldom got a mosquito bite. So I'm just so grateful. And I'm looking forward to trying all these new joint things that you've shared this morning. So thank you, Linda.
Perfect. Hey, Vicki, don't
Yes.
you have a testimony on prostate?
I do. My husband was
Would
diagnosed
you
with
mind?
prostate.
Yeah.
Sure. He was diagnosed with prostate cancer the first of this year and made the decision to go through radiation. And the doctor said, now you're going to probably have this side effect and this side effect and this side effect. But we've got a pill for every one of those. And so I went through and I set up a playlist for him for all of those side effects. And he did not have them, or had them very slight. And his doctors were just amazed. Why do you think you're doing so well with all of this? They would ask. And so he'd just hold up his arm and show them his watch. And several of them were very curious and asked for the information because they thought it would be worth sharing with other patients. So, and he's doing very well. It's been said to be cancer-free now. We just went on a lovely vacation. And so that's my testimony.
I appreciate it. I think, different people are on at different times, so that's fun to share.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Linda.
Sharon?
Hello,
Sharon?
everyone. Yeah, hi. This is my first time. I just want to give a few testimonies. I've had the watch for over, I would say, 4 months now. I've been doing everything, listening to all your podcasts or your Zooms, and they're so beneficial to me. But I've had a lot of testimonies too. I had COVID. My son had COVID like back 2 or 3 months ago. We played that the COVID program, and that helped us in 2 days. We got over that. I have so many testimonies, but recently I went to Disney with my grandkids, and I walked over 16,000 steps. I think I ended up with rhabdomyolysis, so I had a lot of calf pain, and I played the calf pain songs, and man, the next day I was able to get up brand new. I did the knee pain that I also did good with that. But my question now is, I'm just a believer. I can't wait, but I'm getting ready to have a hysterectomy next Monday, and I never wanted the surgery. I canceled it 4 times, but they said you should have it, so I'm gonna go ahead with it. But what I want to know is, I plan to play the detox for the anesthesia. I plan to play the pain and all that. But with the hormones being gone, is playing the hormone files will help, right?
Yes, I would think so. And there's also files for wound healing, and regeneration, RNA, DNA. So you might want to make a playlist for specifically those ideas for healing. Put all of those together. Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Linda. I love this watch. I've been telling everybody, they think I'm crazy, but I don't care what they think. I'm just using it, and it's beneficial for me for sure. Thank you again.
Thank you. Let's see. Did anybody else have their hand up? How we do?
How do you put up your hand?
Or would go ahead and speak. You're already there.
Oh, okay. I'm a detoxification specialist, and I want to thank you for coming forward with such a wonderful, wonderful health tool. I researched your product for a long time before I purchased it. And I've used everything on the watch and it's absolutely phenomenal. But one of my clients called me one day and she said that she had atrial fibrillation and she went to the heart doctor and they examined her for everything and told her that she needed a whole lot of stents, which they did put in a lot of her arteries, but they also told her she needed open heart surgery on her aorta. And so I gave her my WAVwatch and I had her wear it. And the next time that she went to the doctor to schedule the surgery for her aorta, the doctor told her that there was nothing wrong with her aorta. So it was absolutely phenomenal. I let her keep the WAVwatch. She wears it 24 hours a day, except for when she is charging it. And
Oh my goodness.
she's learning how to use all of the other items that are on the watch for all of the different things that she has wrong with her health. And she's thrilled to death and I'm thrilled to death along with her. So it does work. You just have to have a lot of patience.
That is amazing. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, thank you. That's amazing.
Wow. All right, anybody else? I'm not sure. We're having trouble here seeing everybody. Anybody else? Yes, go ahead.
Anne is
Ann?
okay. Yes, I've had the watch a couple months and I've been trying different things, and I have some nodules on my fingers, and I don't know. I'm going to try some of the things you talked about today, but I was just wondering if you had any other ideas.
The gout and the uric acid, because once in a while you'll have kind of I've had those on my fingers too.
Okay.
And kidneys, clean out the kidney stones and kidneys.
Okay.
I don't know of anything else. I tried to cover it today, but yeah, give us an update on that.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Linda, one last thing. I do have a website called FYI Health Talk, and it's a blog, and I want to know if I have your permission to put your link on my blog site.
You certainly do. That would be lovely.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I think, I see Martha had one other thing.
Yes, what kind of frequencies do you recommend for someone who's fasting, especially to stave off the hunger? I know I can drink water, but do you have recommendations for fasting?
Well, maybe you might go to the weight loss file, but I don't have a frequency that just says fasting. I don't have that. So, but I would say the weight loss would be some of those ideas. That's all I can think of. Anybody think of anything else? Yeah.
And then when I do Pilates, do you recommend the joint setting or the fat burn?
Both of them. I tried both of them. Yeah.
So I can set up on my watch for them to cycle and play both? Okay, thank you very much. And thanks for the watch.
Yeah, you can create a favorites folder and put all the frequencies you want to play in that folder and it'll play them all on repeat. So
thank
I
you.
think we have one more question maybe from Linda, the other Linda.
I have a question. I'm Deborah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My husband has a stimulator implanted in his back for pain. He's had 9 back surgeries. And it's pulses that stop the pain from going to his brain, so he knows that he can't feel the pain. This watch isn't going to affect that, is it? I mean, he's worn it and nothing's happened.
No, and the simple version of that is because these are acoustical frequencies. So they are the sound of your voice. All right. So if he couldn't hear music or you talking to him or anything that's a natural sound, they would have let him know, but he hasn't been told that. So that's why these frequencies are doing okay with that, because They are natural acoustical frequencies, the sound of your voice.
That's awesome. And then is there something he had a stent put in, and ever since he had a stent put in, he's got tremors. I believe it's from the medication he's on, but they've cut some of it down and it's not helping. I know you have the tremor setting. Is there just like stay on that all day long? What do you
I
recommend?
try a lot of the detox. If he's on a medication that you think might have started that, then try the detox and see if you could get rid of some of those medications. And I'm sure he's had anesthesia, that when you start looking at how terrible anesthesia is and how many people die from anesthesia, it's mind blowing. So that needs to be detoxed out of his body. And is it connected to tremors? I don't know. I'm just saying, carry through with all of the detoxing that you can. And then you might even try the Parkinson's tremors, the Parkinson's folder. Sometimes those are interchangeable. Sometimes Parkinson's people have tremors and that frequency doesn't work. And then they go over to the nerves and a different tremor, and that one works for them, or vice versa, so even try those.
Okay. Last thing, I have fatty liver and sluggish gallbladder, so I do play the liver detox.
Mhm.
And is there something special for a gallbladder? I don't think I saw that.
There's 4 or 5 frequencies for gallbladder. It's right above liver, somewhere in there alphabetically. Yeah.
And you can play them all at once, correct? Because there's 9 settings. Okay.
They'll just play one after the other.
All right. So if I wear it during the day and he wears it at night or vice versa, would that work?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And sometimes I've even have a great testimony on couples that snuggle, and, one of my best ones, I've told it a lot, but this gentleman, called and said he bought the WAVwatch for his wife with Parkinson's. And then you could tell he kind of got embarrassed and he was trying to figure out how to, what to say. And he just finally blurts out and he says, "We sleep really close together. I hope you're laughing with me." And then he blurts out again, and I could feel her frequencies when she had the WAVwatch on.
How cool.
And then he continues and he says, "And I woke up the next morning and my feet didn't hurt." I'm going, "Well, that's really neat, And he goes, "No, you don't understand. They've hurt for 15 years. I've been on medications for 15 years. So he felt her frequencies for Parkinson's, and something about neuropathy worked with his feet. So you can share frequencies, even your dog or your pet sitting on your lap. If you're playing anxiety, they can absorb that frequency."
Wow. Amazing. How often
There you go.
How often do you do these, Linda?
Oh, I have my watch on and I play things randomly throughout the day or something all night long. And it's usually different. I think last night I did alopecia,
How often do you do these webinars, some Zoom meetings?
Oh, I'm sorry. Once a week. So there's 70 different ones. 70 different ones.
I didn't know that. Is it always this time at 10 o'clock, Wednesday at 10? Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, so there's only 3 playlists at this point in time. You can only make 3. And I've tried to help you out with that because these different frequencies or the different icons that you have, there are 3 swipe icons. Most of those are already playlists. So you have hundreds of playlists already made up. So hopefully you don't have to work too hard, and there is room for 3 additional playlists, but take advantage of the swipe screen and the different choices, on the screen itself. So all of these are playlists. There's no other way to say it. These are all a playlist. It's upside down, but they are playlists. All right. Any other questions? I think we're kind of winded down.
I have a question.
Sure.
I can't sleep with the tone going. And so do we turn it off so we don't hear it, or do we just turn it down to the last?
Well, I'm not sure how high you have it. I suggest 4 to 6. Some people will turn it up to 8 and they can't hear it. But if you turn it off, it's not going to vibrate. Your body's not going to feel it. So you don't want to do that. So put it as low as you can, that it's not bothering you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some people have actually put a little,
Some people put like a My wife actually took a sock that was, had holes and cut the bottom off and put that over her watch to kind of mute the sound a little bit. But also when I sleep, I put it under the pillow. So if I'm laying on my side, then it's kind of under the pillow so you don't hear it. But yeah, like Linda said, you really only need the volume to be around a 4, and that shouldn't be too loud for most people. Hopefully that helps.
Great. Thank you. I've had my watch 2 weeks.
Awesome.
Oh, well, thanks
So-
for trying.
Figure it out. Thank
Yes,
you.
and I think Martha was asking about turning the watch on. Make sure you just hold it 3 seconds. If you continue to hold it, it'll shut it back off, So I had one lady that was consecutively holding it for 5 seconds. So she turned it on and it would come up and then it'd turn right back off. Well, because that's the signal she gave it. So hopefully that helps on Martha's question. All right. I think we probably have spent enough time, unless there's anything else.
Been a great conversation today. It's great to hear all your questions and testimonies. Thank you all for sharing. And
Nice
if
to
you have
meet
any-
Linda's son.
Yeah. So, and I think she said earlier, she put my email, but I'll type it in here one more time. It's joseph@wavwatch.com. And if you have any other follow-up questions, testimonials, anything, feel free to reach out to me and I'd be happy to help.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.